Okay, so welcome back,
Yep.
John, and
Hi, Joe.
Sue, if you're there in the background.
Yep.
So let's continue where we left off, shall we? So just going to share my screen. Share screen, and there's lesson 151. I think we were at paragraph 8, if I recall.
Okay.
Yeah, looks like paragraph 8. So if you want to read number 8,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
translation.
I'll go straight to the alternative, unless you want me to read the original.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't translated it, so let's do it as we go.
Let it be judge of what you are, for it has certainty in which there is no doubt, because it rests on certainty, capital C, so great that doubt is meaningless before its face. Christ cannot doubt himself itself. So
Okay.
Christ is
Christ is the true self.
okay, right. Your true self cannot doubt itself. Your true self cannot doubt itself. The voice for pure formless awareness, God, can only honor it, rejoicing in its perfect, everlasting sinlessness. Whom it has judged can only laugh at guilt, unwilling now to play with toys of sin, beliefs in separation, unheeding of the body's witnesses before the rapture of your true self's holy face. Before the rapture of the holy face of your true self.
Okay. Where are we? So whom he has judged, whom it has judged. Hi, Sue.
Hello.
Whom it has judged can only laugh at guilt. There's a better way of saying it. Whom it has judged can only laugh at guilt. Whoever it has judged.
Anyone it has judged can only know.
Those who it has judged.
Well, it's really those who have. What he's really saying is those who have
Being judged.
listened to its judgment. Listen to its judgment. Now, how's he doing judge? How do they spell judgment? With an E or an M? It's a good question. Let's have a look.
I think both ways are okay. Probably in English is an E, I suppose.
Yeah, but in the course, let's just have a look. Text. The last judgment. Just Google it. Last judgment. Is Can they spell it with a
No E.
last judgment? There we go. They do spell it no E.
It was funny, doesn't it?
It does look a bit funny, but
It's the American version, isn't it?
Judgment or judgment. Judgment with an E has risen and fallen in popularity in British English. Judgment remains the preferred spelling in British legal proceedings and appears more frequently in written work.
There you go.
Today, judgment is an accepted spelling in British English. Both, but judgment's more popular. Interesting. Okay, not quite sure why they leave out the E, but anyway, we'll go with the popular spelling. Those that listen to its judgment can only laugh at guilt. Because that's really what he's talking about. We've listened to it. Can only honor it, rejoicing voice, or can only honor it, your true self, can only honor yourself. Let's take some of the it's out. Rejoicing in its perfect everlasting sinlessness. And those who have listened to its judgment can only laugh at guilt, unwilling to have listened to the its judgment. Okay, can only laugh at guilt, unwilling to now to play with toys of sin, unheeding of the body's witnesses before the rapture of Christ's holy face. Okay, before the rapture of
the holy face of your true self.
Of their true selves. Face is really identity of their true selves. Holy face, so maybe we want to put in their true selves. Maybe we should say their true selves. Whole.
Or their self's true identity.
Yeah, I was thinking true self's identity, the face of Christ. Face, I mean, what he uses the terminology. For the rapture of their true self's whole awareness. He's talking about rapture. Their true self's whole awareness. Or we could have identity there. True self's identity. Okay, do you want to read it from the top? Let's see how it reads.
Let it be judged of what you are, for it has certainty in which there is no doubt. Because it rests on certainty so great that doubt is meaningless before its face. Your true self cannot doubt itself. The voice for pure formless awareness of perfect love can only honor yourself, rejoicing in its perfect everlasting sinlessness. Those who have listened to its judgment can only laugh at guilt, unwilling now to play with toys of sin, unheeding of the body's witnesses before the rapture of their true self's identity.
Yeah? Face of Christ, true self's identity. Or maybe just of their true identity. That's simple. Before the rapture of their true identity. And rapture, maybe we could make that for the bliss of their true identity.
So the word judgment in this paragraph is not being used in the sense of judge it. It's like an assessment.
Yeah, he's using judgment in the right-minded sense. So the judgment of the Holy Spirit is that you are pure, holy, perfect, sinless, and complete. So he uses let it be judge, capital J, of what you are. So its judgment, capital J, can only laugh at guilt. So its judgment is that you are what you are, the Christ, you are the one self, as opposed to ego's judgment, which the small j, which is always condemnatory in nature.
Yeah.
For the bliss of their true identity. I like before the rapture of Christ's holy face, before the bliss of their true and whole identity. What do you think? Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's he saying in that? Give it a little summary.
Yeah. He's saying that he'd only the voice of pure formless awareness because that understands who you are and will always acknowledge who you are.
Yeah. And if you do that, you'll laugh at guilt, because you recognize the folly of it, unwilling now to play with toys of sin. And unheeding the body's witnesses for the bliss of their true and whole identity, true and complete. Okay, so happy with that one?
Yeah.
Sue, if you want to read number 9, please.
And thus he judges you. Accept his word for what you are, for he bears witness to your beautiful creation and the mind whose thought created your reality. What can the body mean to him who knows the glory of the Father and the Son? What whispers of the ego can he hear? What could convince him that your sins are real? Let him be judge as well of everything that seems to happen to you in this world. His lessons will enable you to bridge the gap between illusions and the truth.
Okay, so translation, thus it judges you. Except, and thus. I always try and change, we try and change thus, and so it judges you, instead of thus. Accept its word for what you are. Accept its word, its message. Accept its message about what you are. For it bears witness to your beautiful creation. So creation in that sense is, how would you translate that?
Extension.
No, it's actually it's the other way, because what he's referring to your beingness, to your beautiful being, or beautiful being, to your beautiful being or beingness. What do you think?
Being, I think.
Being. The mind whose thought created your reality. And the awareness whose thought created your reality. Reality with a capital R, I think. Okay. What can the body mean to it who knows the glory of the Father and the Son? It which, or it that, maybe it. Knows the glory. We were translating glory as magnificence. Magnificence of the Father is
Source and its extension.
source and what whispers of the ego in the belief in separation. Can it hear? What could convince it that your sins are real? Let it be judge as well of everything that seems to happen to you in this world. His lessons will enable you to bridge the gap between illusions and the truth. Okay, do you want to read it from the top? Let's make sure it makes sense and unpack it as you go.
You want to change the last sentence to its lessons.
Yeah. Okay, how did I miss that? It's. Thanks for that. Okay.
Okay, and so it judges you. Accept its message about what you are, for it bears witness to your beautiful being and the awareness whose thought created your.
Okay. Any thoughts on that?
So the it here is the Holy Spirit, is it?
Yeah. If we refer back to the previous paragraph, the voice for pure formless awareness of perfect love.
Right.
Can only honor yourself. So it's the Holy Spirit, remembrance of oneness, remembrance of love. So we could put in remembrance of love. Those who've listened to its judgment. He's got a lot of ifs. So we put in one. So we clarify that. So the remembrance of perfect love judges you. Accept its message about what you are. It bears witness to your beautiful being and awareness whose thought created your reality. You can't really say whose thought, which thought, and that doesn't work. Awareness whose thought created your reality. So we'll just whose thought created just your beautiful being, and the awareness whose thought gave you your reality. How about that? Happy with number 2?
Yep.
Okay. What can
mean to it? What can the body mean to it that knows the magnificence of the source and its extension? What whispers of the belief in separation can it hear? What could convince it that your sins are real? Let it be judge as well of everything that seems to happen to you in this world. Its lessons will enable you to bridge the gap between illusions and the truth. So he's saying, listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit and hear how it celebrates your magnificent beingness
Yeah.
and sees you perfect and whole.
And let it be judge of everything that seems to happen to you in this world. So its reinterpretation of whatever happens to you, seems to happen to you, will enable you to bridge the gap between illusions and the truth.
Yeah.
So through it, you're going to know your true self, you're going to judge the world correctly, and ultimately bridge the gap between illusions and the truth. Okay, happy with that one?
Yep.
So let's go to number 10. Number 10. Is John there, or?
Yeah.
There we go, he's back. You read number 10.
He will remove all faith that you have placed in pain, disaster, suffering, and loss. He gives you a vision which can look beyond these grim appearances and can behold the gentle face of Christ in all of them.
Face of Christ.
The face of your true self.
Yeah. Gentle face. Where should we keep face? Behold the gentle face of your true self. This idea is the appearance now has the face of Christ. It's you look upon the appearance, you're still looking on form, hence face, but it's transformed.
You will no longer doubt that only good can come to you who are beloved of God. Pure formless awareness. For it will judge all happenings, teach the single lesson that they all contain.
Judge all happenings and teach the single lesson that they all contain. Okay, so just read it again and let's unpack it as we go. Any thoughts on any of that?
It will remove all faith that you have placed in pain, disaster, suffering, and loss. It gives you vision which can look beyond these grim appearances and can behold the gentle face of your true self in all of them.
Okay, what's he saying there?
He's saying that spirit will look beyond all beyond the illusion, beyond all pain and suffering, and show us to our true identity, our true selves.
Yeah. And you see your true self in all of them. So you see this one self everywhere, in people, and in places, objects. It's the universal identity that underlies all form, beyond the grim appearances. So you'll see only face of your true self. So kind of a reflection of this true self, and the oneness that is entailed in the true self is then seen in everything. Okay, and then number 3.
You will no longer doubt that only good can come to you who are beloved to perfect love. For it will judge all happenings and teach a single lesson that they all contain. So we will no longer doubt oneness and love.
Hmm.
And that only good can exist.
No. It will judge all happenings and teach the single simple lesson that they all contain. So one thought system, one identity, one thought system interprets everything, all happenings, all experiences, and teach the single lesson they all contain. I think we should change that to experience work. It will judge all your experiences. And teach the single lesson that they all contain. So one correction is enough. One true self, one thought system based on that will correct, help you to reinterpret all of your life experiences and teach the single lesson that they all contain, which is that this true awareness is what you are. You are the self that underlies all illusions. Okay, happy with number 10?
Yeah, it's good.
Number 11,
He will select the elements in them which represent the truth and disregard those aspects which reflect but idle dreams. And he will reinterpret all you see and all occurrences, each circumstance, and every happening that seems to touch on you in any way, from his one frame of reference, wholly unified and sure. And you will see the love beyond the hate, the constancy in change, the pure in sin, and only heaven's blessing on the world.
heaven's blessing.
The state of your formless awareness.
Blessing of. Maybe we just need to say. The blessing of the state of. So I'm just going to make it the blessing of. Okay, want to read it from the top and just unpack it as you go. Any thoughts on each sentence as you go?
It will select the elements in them which represent the truth and disregard those aspects which reflect only idle dreams. So every experience that happens to you is seen through the eyes of the Holy Spirit. You will only see the truth in each experience, which is love.
So it's a selective remembering. Whatever's in a situation, you let go of the painful stuff that's not nice. You overlook that, and you focus on the truth, which is love and peace and joy, and that's always there in every situation, even in the worst situations. There's always the ability to do this. You can disregard all illusions because, as this was teaching us, an illusion is an illusion is an illusion. It doesn't matter what's happening in the illusion. It's all actually in the same order. This is why there's no hierarchy of illusions, no order of difficulty in miracles. Okay.
And it will reinterpret all you see and all occurrences, each circumstance and every happening that seems to touch on you in any way, from its one frame of reference, wholly unified and sure. So it's saying again that anything that happens to us will be reinterpreted so that we see it as whole and pure love.
Yeah. So this is what he's talking about here is an operating system. He's saying this is the frame of reference, the operating system that's going to be behind all of your perceptions, your sense perceptions, which is wholly unified and sure. There's no uncertainty, there's no ambiguity, there's no doubt. And then you will see, let's change that to perceive. Then you will perceive.
You will perceive the love beyond the hate, the constancy in change, the pure in sin, and only the blessing of pure formless awareness on the world. So he's changing the way we see and the way we perceive anything that happens to us, any thoughts that we have.
Yeah. And so despite the appearances of hate and change and sin and attack and whatever else is going on, you only see the truth. You are able to overlook all the other stuff, recognize that it's untrue, and focus only on what is true and therefore real and actually there. He's saying you'll perceive all of this simply from a change in mind. Just by identifying with who you really are, this perception becomes inevitable. Okay? Any other thoughts on that? I think you've given a bit of a summary there, so we'll swiftly move on.
Such is your resurrection, for your life is not a part of anything you see. It stands beyond the body and the world, past every witness for unholiness, within the holy, holy as itself. In everyone and everything, his voice would speak to you of nothing but yourself and your Creator, who is one with him. So will you see the holy face of Christ in everything, and hear in everything no sound except the echo of God's voice.
Okay,
So,
a bit of translation there.
So such is your resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
For your life is not a part of anything you see. It stands beyond the body and the world, past every witness for unholiness, within the holy, holy as itself.
Okay, it's past every witness for unholiness is limited awareness.
Within the holy, with a capital H, holy, small h, as itself.
Now, let's change the C to perceive.
Could you translate resurrection as awakening?
Yeah, you could. It's a resurrection of the mind. Such as your resurrection. However, I'll tell you why he uses it, because he brings in later Eastertide. He says this is your Eastertide.
Yeah.
So this must have been given around Easter time. So hence the use of the word. So I think should we keep it, because then we've got the reference into the later Eastertide story. Such as your resurrection. For your life is not a part of anything you perceive. It stands beyond the body and the world, past every witness for limited awareness. Within the holy as itself. So within the holy is the state of pure formless awareness. Within
Yeah, very good.
Impure formless awareness as wholly aware as Jesus wholly aware as itself. That's really what he's saying. And we'll read it once we've translated the whole paragraph. Read it again. Everyone and everything, his voice would speak to you.
Its voice speaks to you.
Would speak is really trying to say it wants to speak to you.
Yeah.
There's a kind of intention there. Or intends to. Everyone and everything would speak to you. Intends to speak to you of. Wants to speak to you. Wants to speak to you of nothing but yourself and your creator. Nothing but yourself and your creator. Source. Which is one with it. So will you see the holy face of Christ in everything? So will you see the identity of your true self in everything, and hear in everything, no sound except the echo of God's voice, the echo of perfect love's voice. Okay, so I'll read it from the top. Let's see if it makes sense.
Such is your resurrection, for your life is not a part of anything you perceive. It stands beyond the body and the world, past every witness for limited awareness, within pure formless awareness, which is as wholly aware as itself. In everyone and everything, its voice wants to speak to you of nothing but yourself and your source, which is one with it. So will you see the identity of your true self in everything, and hear in everything no sound except the echo of perfect love's voice.
Okay, makes sense. What is he saying there in essence?
It's saying, as you align with your true self, you will see nothing else.
You see only love.
Mm.
See that this identity. So namaste, it's like I see you. It's this acknowledgement of yourself in everyone and everything. Identity of your true self in everything. Because that self is a presence. It's the presence of love. So the Christ is in every living thing, every sentient being. There's this Christ presence in it, very essence of life. Hearing everything, no sound except the echo of perfect love's voice. Yeah, nice, very poetic. Are you happy with that one?
Yep, with that.
Okay, Sue, number 13.
We practice wordlessly today, except at the beginning of the time we spend with God, with pure formless awareness. We introduce these times with but a single slow repeating of the thought with which the day begins. And then we watch our thoughts, appealing silently to him who sees the elements of truth in them. Let him evaluate each thought that comes to mind, remove the elements of dreams and give them back again as clean ideas that do not contradict the will of God.
Okay, so do a bit of translation here.
We practice wordlessly, except at the beginning of the time we spend with pure formless awareness of perfect love. We introduce these times with just a single slow repeating of the thought with which the day begins. And then we watch our thoughts, appealing silently to it which sees the elements of truth in them. Let it evaluate each thought that comes to mind, remove the elements of dreams and give them back again as clean ideas that do not contradict the is the will, the intention.
Yeah, the
Desire.
it's the awareness, really. That's I think the best translation for will. Do not contradict the pure formless awareness of perfect love. That's the will of God.
Right.
Okay, so what's he saying here in summary?
So he's saying that in our practice, we start by repeating today's idea slowly, and then we pay attention to the thoughts that come in and ask Holy Spirit to show us the truth, the true elements of those thoughts. So we see only love, peace, joy, and he gives these thoughts.
Yeah. So the elements of dreams or whatever's false. Remove the let me put in false there. False elements of dreams, give them back again as clean ideas, true ideas. Do not contradict the pure formless awareness of perfect love. So it's a purification of thought, simply by awareness, bringing any thought we have to the awareness of perfect love, pure formless awareness of perfect love, saying, is this in accord or out of accord? And if we've got false elements of dreams, then we simply let that go. And the idea comes back maybe, but it's a true idea. So now let's say you were thinking about a person or situation. Now the idea you have about them is clean, is true. Oh, well, I see that this person is really only love. They're just doing their best. They're underneath all of this, they're the Christ. So that's now a true idea. The false elements of dreams removed. You're still perceiving them as a seeming person in this world, but you're not misperceiving them and thinking that they actually are separate. Just see them as someone on the journey of somewhere on the journey of awakening, just as you are. So does that kind of make sense, what he's asking us to do?
Yeah, it does.
And that's really what we're trying to do with every lesson. Is remove the elements of dreams, remove what's false, so what remains is only true. And what's true is just then the reinterpretation of the world by the Holy Spirit. And that truth purifies. So by bringing the false ideas to the truth of the absolute pure formless awareness of perfect love, you can now purify the thoughts and go, no, that's not in accord. So any kind of limitation, negativity, contraction, that has to go, because you can see it's very clearly out of accord. You can keep a thought of, well, I actually see someone and I'm feeling love and compassion towards them, because that's open and expansive, and it doesn't contradict this deeper awareness, the pure formless awareness of perfect love. So you need to just be aware of any intrusions on this awareness. That's why I quite like using awareness rather than will of God. Okay, that's actually the pure formless awareness of perfect love in the mind that's doing it. Staying in tune with that awareness is really the key. Okay, so happy with number 13? Give him your thoughts, John.
Yeah, give him your thoughts and he will give them back as miracles, which joyously proclaim the wholeness and the happiness of God wills his Son, as proof of his eternal love. And as each thought is thus transformed, it takes on healing power from the mind which saw the truth in it and failed to be deceived by what was falsely added. All the threads of fantasy are gone. What remains is unified into a perfect thought that offers its perfection everywhere.
Okay, let's unpack that from the top.
Give it its thoughts, and it will give them back as miracles which joyously proclaim the wholeness and the happiness of pure formless awareness wills its extension.
So miracles is? Remember what the translation for miracles is?
Changes in perception.
Yes. So what, in short, what is that? In one word. Also begins with a C. Corrections.
Yeah.
Corrections. Joyously proclaim the wholeness and the happiness.
The wholeness and the happiness.
Wholeness and awareness of perfect love.
The wholeness and the happiness of pure formless awareness of perfect love wills its extension for its eternal love.
Wills its extension as proof of its eternal love.
And as each thought is transformed in this way, it takes on healing power from the mind, from the awareness which saw the truth in it, and failed to be deceived by what was falsely added. All the threads of fancy are gone, and what remains is unified into a perfect thought that offers its perfection everywhere.
Yeah. Nice. So what is he saying there in summary?
He's saying, give our thoughts to spirit, and they will be purified and transmuted and given back to us as beautiful experiences.
Oh. Man is unified into a perfect thought, capital T. So that perfect thought is I am love. I am this presence. It offers its perfection everywhere. In the name of God, I am that I am. So this is the true identity, the one self, Christ, is the perfect thought. I am this presence. And that offers its perfection everywhere because it sees itself everywhere. I am presence underlies everything. So it's a perfect thought. I am that I am is a perfect, whole, complete thought. There's nothing lacking in that. Offers its perfection everywhere. Okay?
Yeah.
Happy with that one? So number 15, and then we can, once we finish this, if you like, we can do another meditation on this lesson, if you're up for that. So, Sue, if you read number 15, let's just translate it.
Spend 15 minutes thus when you awake, and gladly give another 15 more before you go to sleep. Ministry begins as all your thoughts are purified. So are you taught to teach the Son of God the holy lesson of his sanctity. No one can fail to listen when you hear the voice for God. Give honor to God's Son, and everyone will share the thoughts with you which he has retranslated in your mind.
Okay, so a bit of your ministry. I'm sure we have a translation for ministry. It's a bit old-fashioned. Your ministry. Teaching. Ministry begins. Your
life purpose.
Life's purpose.
Teach.
Life's true. How about your true function?
Yeah.
I think that's better than ministry. Your true function begins. All your thoughts are purified. So are you taught? So you are taught. To teach the Son of God. Teach the extension of perfect love, the holy lesson. So translate holy as wholly aware. The wholly aware lesson. Yes, sanctity. Is there a better word for sanctity? Sanctity.
Sense.
State or quality of being holy, sacred, or saintly. Oh, holy, sacred, or saintly. Okay. So here's Wholly aware lesson of his true identity, or should we just leave it as sanctity? True identity, wholly aware lesson of his. So, faith applied to being holy, sacred, or saintly. A wholly aware lesson of his. What do you think? Sanctity or true identity?
I think true identity is better than sanctity.
Clearer.
Yeah.
No one can fail to listen. You hear the voice for God. Voice for your formless awareness of perfect love. Give honor to its extension. Everyone will share the thoughts with you, which it has retranslated in your mind. Retranslated. Is that how you spell it? Probably. Retranslated. Now, translate again. Everyone will share the thoughts which it has. Do we want maybe just translated? Do you think we need retranslated in there?
Yeah, no, it hasn't been, it's not
Hasn't
been
been done translated twice.
No.
I think we can take away the re. Which is translated in your mind. Interesting, uses translator, and that's what we're doing with the course. It's a reinterpretation. This translation we're doing is reinterpreting. So I would say we are in some ways we're doing the retranslation. It's already been translated once. Holy Spirit, so the original course teaching is translation and then a retranslation using different language. Is retranslated. Everyone will share the thoughts with you, which it is translated in your mind. You will keep mind. We could have awareness. It's translated in your mind. I think that's keep mind there. Okay, do you want to read from the top of that? Let's see if it makes sense.
Spend 15 minutes in this way when you awake and gladly give another 15 more before you go to sleep. Your true function begins as all your thoughts are purified. So you are taught to teach the extension of perfect love, the wholly aware lesson of his true identity. No one can fail to listen when you hear the voice for pure formless awareness of perfect love. Give honor to its extension. And everyone will share the thoughts with you, which it has translated in your mind.
So no private thoughts. If we do this, then everyone is actually sharing in these purified thoughts, and we're contributing to the one-ment of everyone and the healing of everyone. Any other thoughts on that?
No, I think what he's saying is that once our thoughts have been translated into the truth, then we become teachers and pass on that truth to everybody we meet.
Yeah, not
They
just me, but everyone will share the thought. So we're talking about the whole mind. You're sharing it via the quantum field, not necessarily just everyone you meet and know, because that's a tiny fraction of the population. It's going into the morphic fields, Rupert Sheldrake calls it, and it's influencing everyone. And so you become an agent of the awakening. You're spreading the awakening through your own thoughts and emotions. So everyone actually shares in the blessing that you're experiencing. Okay, happy with that one.
Yeah.
Number 16, such as your Eastertide.
Such is your Eastertide, and so you lay the gift of snow-white lilies on the world, replacing witnesses to sin and death. Through your transfiguration is the world redeemed and joyfully released from guilt. Now do we lift our resurrected minds in gladness and in gratitude to him who has restored our sanity to us.
Yeah, so we lift our resurrected minds in gladness and gratitude to, how might we say, pure formless awareness of perfect love there. To the state of pure formless awareness. That has restored our sanity to us. Lift our resurrected minds to the state of pure formless awareness, into the, let's just keep it as pure formless awareness of perfect love that has restored our sanity to us. Right, I'm going to read it from the top. This Eastertide, what do you think about that? Eastertide. The Easter period. Such as your Eastertide. So really what he's saying, such as your time of awakening. Such is your time of awakening. And maybe we could change resurrected to awakened. Do you prefer awakened or resurrected? What do you think? Awakened minds?
Well, I think as we're doing translations, it should be awakened.
Awakened minds. Okay, and then we had resurrected here as well, somewhere. Where was it? Such is your resurrection, such is your awakening. Okay, so what's he? Do you want to read the whole thing and then summarize it?
Such is your time of awakening, and so you lay the gift of snow white lilies on the world, replacing witnesses to sin and death. Through your transfiguration is the world redeemed and joyfully released from guilt. Now do we lift our awakened minds in gladness and in gratitude into the pure formless awareness of perfect love that has restored our sanity to us.
Yeah. So we lift our awakened minds into this state, and that state and that presence has restored our sanity to us. I think we'll keep the imagery, the gift of snow white lilies, which is really the corrections, the miracles. So you give the gift of snow white lilies to the world. Give the gift of, well, I don't know. Dude, I mean, it's quite nice imagery, but
Yeah, I like snow white lilies.
give the gift of innocent perception. I think this is what he means. You give the gift of innocent perception to the world. It's a bit more practically meaningful. Placing witnesses to sin and death. That's what he means by snow white lilies. Should we keep innocent perception?
Yeah.
Okay. Although the imagery is not there, I think it's more explicable, explanatory of what he's really meaning. Okay. So happy with that one?
Yeah.
And then just the last one, too, we will hourly remember.
And we will hourly remember it, which is salvation and deliverance. As we give thanks, the world unites with us and happily accepts our holy thoughts, which heaven has corrected and made pure. Now has our ministry begun at last to carry around the world the joyous news that truth has no illusions, and the peace of God through us belongs to everyone.
I remember almost was the perfect love. And we will only remember this awareness instead of this him who is. We will only remember this awareness that is awakening and deliverance. Give thanks, the world unites with us, happily accepts our holy thoughts, our holy aware thoughts. It's heaven, and what heaven is.
It's the state of formless awareness.
Yeah. Has corrected and made pure. Now has our ministry was true function. Carry around the world the joyous news that truth is no illusions, and the peace of God through us belongs to everyone. Peace of perfect love. It's nice. Through us belongs to everyone. Okay, you want to read that from the top of that paragraph? Make sure we're okay with it.
And we will hourly remember this awareness that is awakening and deliverance. As we give thanks, the world unites with us and happily accepts our wholly aware thoughts, which the state of pure formless awareness has corrected and made pure. Has our true function begun at last to carry round the world the joyous news that truth has no illusions and the peace of perfect love through us belongs to everyone?
Oh, so what's he saying there in summary?
So as we repeat this lesson every hour through the day, and our thoughts become purified so that we only think, we only see the truth. We give our gratitude for that, and our true function just happens really, because as we're now thinking only true thoughts, that goes out into the what did you call it? The
quantum field, or the morphic field.
quantum field, yeah.
The mind, the one mind of the sonship. Extension. So just by thinking these thoughts and correcting our own minds, this radiates outwards and carry around the world the joyous news. So that doesn't mean that every person is now, suddenly going to get a message from you, an email message or something. It means that on this mind level, it's going into the ether, and everyone can pick up on it and absorb it if they're open to it. So again, he's emphasizing it's not just for you. This is the at-one-ment of the whole sonship, of everyone. When you do it for yourself, you're doing it for others as well, which is quite a key theme in the course. Okay, so that's the end of that lesson. Shall we do a meditation on it now? Would you like to do that now?
Not for me, John.
Go straight into the text. Yeah? Should we just go into the text then?
I think I'm saturated.
Sorry, John, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I feel as though I'm saturated with doing the translations.
Okay. So do you not want to do the text then?
No.
Okay, let's have a look. Tell you how long it is. It's not too bad. It's 8 paragraphs. So it's not a massive. And actually, you're in luck, because there's not a lot of translation to do in this one. There's actually very little to do. There's only a couple of things that need to be changed. So, do you want to go for the text or not?
If it's only a little bit, let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's. That was quite an intense one, because there was a lot of Christs and various terminology. So, okay, so it's just. Right. So this one is called I Need Do Nothing. Section 7 of chapter 18. I need do nothing.
I need do nothing. You still have too much faith in the body as a source of strength. What plans do you make that do not involve its comfort or protection or enjoyment in some way? This makes the body an end and not a means in your interpretation. And this always means you still find sin attractive. No one accepts at-one-ment for himself who still accepts sin as his goal. You have thus not met your one responsibility. at one moment is not welcomed by those who prefer pain and destruction.
Okay, so anything need to change there? I'm not sure. That looks okay to me. Still accept sin as his goal. You have thus not met your one responsibility. Nothing major needs to change there.
Now,
Maybe just and so. And so you've not met your one responsibility, which is at one moment. One moment is your one responsibility here. One moment is not welcome by those who prefer pain and destruction.
so he's saying here that as long as we do have attachment to the body, we we are not aligned. As long as we are still finding sin attractive and attaching importance to our body, we will find it difficult to accept at one moment.
Yeah, and connecting the body's pleasure, the comfort or the pleasure or the protection or the enjoyment of the body are then related to sin. This makes the body an end and not a means in your interpretation. So the body now becomes the goal. You go, well, pleasure of the body, comfort of the body, protection of the body is the goal. And so the body is the end, not the means. This always means you will still find sin attractive. So that the price that you pay for body identification is that sin, the idea that error is true and real and permanent, and that there needs to be some kind of punishment for that, for this crime, is still attractive to you. So body identification equals the attraction of sin. That's what he's saying. It doesn't seem that way. So someone goes, well, what's wrong with wanting some pleasure in my body? There's nothing wrong with getting pleasure in the body. But what it does is it makes the body real, and it makes the idea of sin attractive. That now because you're identifying with the body, the idea of sin has a hold on your mind, because if the body is real, then so are the things that bodies do in this world. And all the dysfunctions and the pain and the suffering seems to be real. And actually what you're saying is that sin is still attractive to me by valuing the body as an end and not a means. So he's just showing us the effects of our false thoughts, that you can't have one body identification without the other, sin.
Okay.
So no one accepts at one moment who still wants sin. He's saying again, there's a clear contradiction between those two. And you must choose at one moment or sin, pain, and destruction. Okay, so happy with number one?
Yeah.
All right, so number two. Let's go straight to the translated version. I'm not sure there's much to do here either.
There is one thing that you have never done. You have not utterly forgotten the body. It has perhaps faded at times from your sight, but it has not yet completely disappeared. You are not asked to let this happen for more than an instant, yet it is in this instant that the miracle of at-one-ment happens. Afterwards, you will see the body again, but never quite the same. And every instant that you spend without awareness of it gives you a different view of it when you return.
Okay. So what is he saying there in summary?
He's saying it's difficult for us to actually forget the body, but if we can just let it go for an instant, we'll see it differently when we come back to it.
Yeah. So in a previous yesterday, I think he was talking about the mystic experience. You missed that session. He actually went into some detail describing what a mystic experience feels like, and it's always involves a letting go of the body. That your awareness is no longer in the body just disappears in your awareness for a time. So again, he's referring to this kind of mystic experience in what he calls a holy instant, that the miracle of at-one-ment happens. So the miracle of at-one-ment is the correction, should we say, correction. So by going into the state of mind, even if it's only for an instant, you experience what it's like to be free of the body. In that instant where the body drops away, you experience a glimpse of this eternal, pure, formless awareness without a body. Then you come back, and then he says afterwards you will see the body again, but never quite the same. So this one experience, it can happen in seconds or a few minutes, can completely change your perception of the body. So afterwards you will see the body again, but never quite the same. See or perceive, I wonder. You will see the body again. You will perceive the body again. It's not just sight, it's touch and taste and smell and all that. You will perceive the body again, but never quite the same. Every instant that you spend without awareness of it gives you a different view of it when you return. Well, so talking again about the, some kind of mystic transcendent experience where the body drops away, then you come back and you see the body differently when you come back. And having had such an experience, it really, there was no body in that short time. It just disappeared from my awareness. And when I came back, my interpretation of the body and really the world had changed. It shifted quite dramatically in that holy instant. Okay, so does that make sense? Any questions on that? Comments?
No.
All right, so moving swiftly on there to number 3.
At no single instant does the body exist at all. It is always remembered or anticipated, but never experienced just now. Only its past and future make it seem real. Time controls it entirely. The sin is never wholly in the present. In any single instant, the attraction of guilt would be experienced as pain and nothing else, and would be avoided. It has no attraction now. Its whole attraction is imaginary, and therefore must be thought of in the past or in the future. It is a bit of unraveling, really. I understand what he's saying when at no single instant does the body exist, because it is an illusion. So it's always remembered or anticipated. It's never in the now. But number 4 is interesting. Time controls it entirely. I guess that's an echo of what's just said. For sin is never wholly in the present. For sin is never wholly in the present.
No.
Lack of awareness.
Sin always has a past and future dimension to it.
Now, the translation of sin is.
There is no. Well, sin is error made real. Sin is an error that is seen to be permanent and deserving of punishment. But that's a long translation. There's no single word that does that. Error is made real and perceived as punishable would be the translation of sin.
Yeah. So how is sin never wholly in the present?
Because it always involves the past. Sin is a past idea.
Yeah,
It's always reflecting on what you or someone else has done, apparently. Focusing on saying that's
okay,
bad, wrong, that's
Yeah.
evil. And
Yeah.
then the future will require punishment in the future. So sin requires past and future to play
Got
out.
it, got it, yeah. In any single instant, the attraction of guilt would be experienced as pain. In any single instant, the attraction of guilt would be experienced as pain and nothing else. And would be avoided. I don't understand that. In any single instant, the attraction of guilt would be experienced as pain.
Yeah, so maybe an instant. At no single instant does the body exist at all. It's using single instant. In any
In any single instant.
in the now, maybe. I think that makes it clearer. In the now. The attraction of guilt would be experienced as pain and nothing else.
But in the now, there wouldn't be an attraction of guilt, would there?
Well, that's what he's saying, and would be avoided. So in the now, you will experience guilt as it really is. You'll see it, you will perceive it clearly. You won't have any illusions. I mean, nothing else, and you'll avoid it. So that in the now, you come into true awareness without past and future. If you just go into the now and you observe guilt, and you observe what it feels like, you would experience it as pain and only pain.
And let it go. Yeah, okay.
And would just avoid it and say, oh, well, I don't, there's nothing that's attractive here. I
Okay, yeah.
Go.
Makes sense, yeah.
But there's no attraction now. There's a whole attraction. So the attraction of guilt relies on fantasies. It relies on the body seeming to be real. It relies on pleasure, that you think the body can get enjoyment, pleasure, protection, comfort. And all of this creates kind of a golden halo and an attraction around a thought system that is actually just guilt and sin and fear and death.
Yeah, that's good. It makes sense now. Yeah.
But we've displaced it onto something else, and we've gone, oh, now I can see, something attractive in the body, and I fail to see that is actually just guilt and sin and attack in disguise. Part of the same thought system.
Yeah.
So if you come into true awareness right now and you can just observe your thoughts and emotions, you will see that guilt is only painful and nothing else, and therefore should be let go of.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
There's no attraction now.
So sin,
imaginary.
Sin cannot be seen in the now, and it only exists in the past or the future.
Hmm.
And its attraction is imaginary. Yeah. Yep. Okay, that's good.
So because it's imaginary, it's all past and future. So he's connecting the dots here for us. He's saying the sin and the guilt, which seem to be, you go, well, why would I choose that? But the ego's convinced you that the body offers you something. It offers you pleasure, it offers you protection, comfort, enjoyment, and so you accept that. Really, what you're accepting is the guilt and the sin that underlies that, and you just don't see that. So then that's the attraction of guilt that seems to be there. But he's saying if you come fully into the present moment, and it's not imaginary anymore, you're like, oh wow, it'd be amazing to have that experience. I want that pleasure. You come fully into the present moment, you'll just see it for what it is. You'll experience the guilt as what it is, and you'll let it go.
Yeah.
Which is why all healing happens in the now and nowhere else. You can't heal in the past or the future.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Happy with number 3?
Yep.
Number 4.
It is impossible to accept the now without reservation, unless just for an instant you are willing to see no past or future. You cannot prepare for it without placing it in the future. Release is given you the instant you desire it. Many have spent a lifetime in preparation and have indeed achieved their instance of success. This course does not attempt to teach more than they learned in time, but it does aim at saving time. You may be attempting to follow a very long road to the goal you have accepted. It is extremely difficult to reach at-one-ment by fighting against sin. Enormous effort is expended in the attempt to make holy what is hated and despised. Nor is a lifetime of contemplation and long periods of meditation aimed at detachment from the body necessary. All such attempts will ultimately succeed because of their purpose, yet the means are tedious and very time-consuming, for all of them look to the future for release from a state of present unworthiness and inadequacy.
So interesting, a bit of unpacking to do there. We'll go from the top. Not a lot of translation to do, we'll just unpack it as we go.
Well, he's saying it's impossible to be in the now unless we accept there's no past or future.
Yeah, so let's make see perceive there. Unless you're willing to perceive no past or future. So by definition, the present, the now, there's nothing else in your awareness. Past and future drop away. You cannot prepare for it without placing it in the future. I mean, that's like logical. If you're preparing for something, then by definition, future is in your mind. There's something still to come in your mind. It's not wholly now.
Yeah. But the instant you desire it, you have it. You're released.
This is given the instant. And I'm going to say you wholly.
Yeah.
So when you really want it, if you fully there, then it happens. Because whole desire is true awareness. By your whole desire, you come into the state of pure formless awareness. And it says many have spent a lifetime in preparation, have indeed achieved their instance of success. So there's many people who dedicate their lives to spiritual practice. He's talking about yogis and mystics and all these people who dedicate their lives to a spiritual path. So this course does not attempt to teach more than they learned in time. So it's a universal curriculum. What they learned, you will learn too. But it does aim at saving you time. So what they learned, and maybe it took them their whole lifetime, he's saying you can learn it quicker, more quickly. It's maybe attempting to follow a very long road to the goal you have accepted. So you go, yes, okay, enlightenment's my only goal. I want salvation, awakening from the dream, and yet I might be trying to fight against sin. Extremely difficult to reach at-one-ment by fighting against sin. So you make sin real, and you go, right, I've got to fight this. I've got to overcome this. An enormous effort is expended in an attempt to make holy what is hated and despised. So maybe we could translate holy as pure or innocent. How about that? To make pure and innocent what is hated and despised. So we try and keep the idea of sin and then somehow overcome it. And what he's saying is that's not going to work. You've got to just let it go and recognize that it's not real. And then here's interesting, number 9, nor is a lifetime of contemplation and long periods of meditation aimed at detachment from the body necessary. Okay, so all of these like long meditative practices, saying, spending hours and hours in meditation, he's saying this isn't necessary. Hallelujah. All such attempts will ultimately succeed because of their purpose. Okay, well, if you dedicate it to awakening and that's the purpose, in the end you will achieve it. But the means are tedious and very time consuming. For all of them, look to the future for release from a state of present unworthiness and inadequacy. Wow. So, yeah, interesting. I had an experience of this with Vipassana. I'm very glad I did it. But I asked the teacher about, this practice and what she was doing. And after so many years, she'd been doing this for 25 years, like intensive meditation and a few hours a day. Like I think she was doing like 5-6 hours a day regularly, and also going on these like long retreats, 30 days, 60 days, where it's just 12 hours a day of meditation. This is kind of what he's referring to here. The means are tedious. And then I asked her, well, what's your understanding of God? And she answered, and she just said, no, I don't think there's anything other than what's impermanent. They call it anicca in Buddhism, the impermanent nature of this world. There's nothing else than that. And I said, well, I can't agree with that. I disagree, because there's a true awareness. So she spent all of this time in meditation, and yet she still doesn't really know the truth. And you go, well, surely there's a shortcut to this. Surely you could just kind of get that actually you have a true awareness. Like, what is aware when you're meditating? And then she kind of got a bit, well, actually, yes, I'm aware that I'm here, but she clearly didn't really get it. And so I was like, okay, well, how effective has all this meditation been when you still don't know who you are after all these years? And so that's kind of what he's saying here, that there's a quicker way. That ultimately you'll get there, but there's a quicker way to do it. And really it's to accept right now. So instead of looking for some kind of future release, you have to do a 10-day meditation, and then it's a 20-day. Then they go a 20-day or 30. You have to do all of this to get release. He's saying accept it right now, which is kind of what the Buddha did. It's interesting because it's based on Buddhist teaching and what the meditation technique the Buddha taught, Vipassana. And so what the Buddha realized is that all of these attempts to find it in the future, to all of these arduous spiritual practices, which he'd really gone into for 7 years, he really did them, all the different techniques that were available. He nearly killed himself doing it. And then he came to the realization that none of that was actually going to work, and that salvation, liberation was only right now. And when he dropped his desire for it and striving for it, he could experience it in that moment, right now. And then he called that the middle way. So it's ironic that then they're teaching his meditation technique, but they're saying, no, you have to do all this long, arduous practice, which he actually moved away from. He said, this isn't going to work, hours and hours of meditation and stuff. Just sit and be. He didn't say don't meditate, but he didn't say you have to do it for hours and hours and hours. Just sit and accept right now that you are okay as you are, and there's no desire. And you collapse all desire, and in that moment you're free. And that he called the middle way. It's kind of what Yeshua is referring to here, saying there's another way. You don't have to do all these long meditation, all these tedious means. You can accept it in the moment, in the holy instant, right now, by accepting your adequacy, by accepting who you really are, your true identity. Then all of this collapses, and one moment where you accept that and you're fully in the now will heal your mind. Does that make sense, what I've just explained?
Yeah.
Oh. So he's kind of giving us the quick way here. He's saying, well, okay, you don't have to meditate for hours and hours, which is why his course doesn't involve hours and hours of meditation. He's giving us meditations to do. Say spend 15 minutes, but that's not hours and hours. That's quite a short time in every day. 15 minutes. I think at the maximum, one of his meditations is half an hour, if I recall. So just give half an hour to God and just surrender into it. But he's not asking for hours and hours and hours every day, which is why I think this course is very helpful for the average person, because they can do it. You can fit in 15 minutes twice a day. That's not that big a deal. You're not being asked to do 2 hours or 3 hours. So yeah, all good. And he's saying, well, I'll give you the quick way if you just follow this guidance. Okay. Any thoughts on that, Sue?
No, I think it makes sense.
Okay. Can you summarize it?
So he's saying, yes, you can achieve the holy instant by spending hours and hours meditating, and a lot of people do that and they reach their goal of at-one-ment. But this course saves you a lot of time and teaches you how to let go and undo the ego, which helps you to perceive the true nature. And when you do that, you can experience the now more often.
You're willing to perceive no past or future. To just say, okay, I'm going fully into the now, I'm going to drop past or future entirely. And then in that moment, no past, no future, no body, because he was talking earlier about the body and awareness of the body. In no one instant have you been completely free of body awareness. So they all go together. No past, no future, no body. If you can open yourself to that experience, which we call a mystic, transcendent experience, then in that instant you can see beyond the veil of illusion, and that will save you so much time. You don't necessarily need to meditate for hours and hours and years to achieve that. It's a decision, and then just a dropping in, a willingness to drop into this timeless state can take you there. Okay, so happy with number 4. Number 5.
Your way will be different, not in purpose, but in means. A holy relationship is a means of saving time. I guess that's capital holy. Oh, a holy, yeah. Okay.
A wholly aware relationship, that's what I translated as.
Yeah.
Because your relationship is wholly aware of truth.
Yeah.
Parties are wholly aware.
Wholly aware relationship is a means of saving time. One instant spent together with your brother restores the universe to both of you. Companion restores the universe to both of you. You are prepared. Now you need but to remember you need do nothing. It would be far more profitable now merely to concentrate on this than to consider what you should do. When peace comes at last to those who wrestle with temptation and fight against the giving in to sin, when the light comes at last into the mind given to contemplation, or when the goal is finally achieved by anyone, it always comes with just one happy realization. I need do nothing.
Yeah.
So what he's saying here is that this way is different and doesn't need lots of time. One instant, for example, in a wholly aware relationship will take you to the now, and is a gateway to the now and the letting go of past and future.
Yeah. Yeah. And in that moment, you say, I need do nothing. So it's pointing us to a state where you recognize that you are there. You're not striving to achieve it. You're already there. I need do nothing is a statement of completion. There's nothing I need to do. I'm whole. I'm complete right now. That is an enlightened state. Just sitting in the bliss of this, knowing that you're whole and complete, and not thinking anymore, oh, you know, I need to do this and I need to do this, because that needing to do things takes you away from the wholeness and the completion of what you are. And so this was, yeah, again, I mentioned the Buddha. This was his realization. I need do nothing right now. It's not sometime in the future. I'm not striving for this sometime in the future. Right now, I am there. I am in it. I am it right now. I'm in this experience right now, and nothing else is needed. Just to be in this experience. And this is the universal. As he says, whoever does this, true awareness comes at last into the mind given to contemplation, and when the goal is finally achieved by anyone, however they do it, always comes with just one happy realization. I need do nothing. So in my little mystic experience, it was, there's nothing else I need to do. In this moment, everything's there. Everything's complete. It's whole. There's no striving to get anywhere. I'm there. And just enjoy the experience of being there. I wasn't even thinking about enjoying the experience. There was no thought at all. It was just being in that experience without thought. And there really was a sense of, this is I don't need to do anything. There's no practice. I think because of the arduous practice that I'd been doing, the contrast with like, okay, I'm just going to let go and do nothing was so marked. That contrast is what made the experience memorable. I don't need to do this. I don't need to sit in a difficult posture that's hurting the body. I'm just there. I'm in this pure formless awareness, and there's nothing else that's needed. And so this is the universal experience of anyone who becomes enlightened or has a taste of enlightenment, goes into a holy instant, and they have what's called a mystic or transcendent experience or peak experience, as Abraham Maslow called it. It's a realization, I'm there. I don't need to do anything. There's no effort required. I'm in a state of pure being, and doing is irrelevant and superfluous. So that's where we're going. That's the ultimate state of enlightenment. And once you come out of that, you might need to come back into the world and do stuff. But you know what the state of mind that I need do nothing. You know now experientially what that means. And you kind of carry that with you. So even in your doing, it's characterized, it's the I need do nothing, which is pure beingness, comes into it. And that's really the essence of the flow state. It's coming from pure formless awareness, just translated into action. And so there's no wanting, there's no desire, there's no stress about it. Just the pure formless awareness, the pure beingness now allowing you to do whatever it guides you to do in the moment. So I need do nothing will actually guide all of your thoughts, words, and actions and help you to stay in flow, because you move out of the needing, desiring phase. You're not needing and desiring anymore. You rest in being, and the being is what's doing the doing. So this is how you change it around. You're still doing actively in the world after realization like that, but you're no longer striving, you're no longer desiring. You're just allowing yourself to be and be done through by the beingness. Recognizing I don't really need to do anything because ultimately I'm okay. My beingness is there. I'm fine as I am. So I need do nothing can be misinterpreted. So some people go, okay, well, what Yeshua is saying to us is, you don't need to do anything in this world. Just sit and be quiet and silent and passive. But in fact, he's saying the opposite. He's not saying that at all. Saying, just sitting quietly in contemplation can get you there, but it's not the quickest way. It's a realization that I need do nothing. You come back from that, and now you can be guided in your thoughts, words, and actions. But I need, that little I. So look at that again. That statement. I need. Who's the I that needs? You see. The I need. The I, the little self, needs to do nothing because I'm already. I am.
that's good.
Great presence is already whole and complete. So although I might be doing stuff, I am not doing it. I don't need to do anything. I'm just doing it from the state of being guided. So you still need to do nothing, even if you're doing something. If you're in that state of mind, that's the flow state.
Yeah, it's good that. I like that.
Yeah, just a bit of a reinterpretation of it. Okay, so any thoughts on that? We want to give a quick summary and move on to number 6.
I need do nothing.
I guess that is the succinct executive summary.
Yeah.
You finally realize that you need do nothing after all of the practices, and in that realization you are complete and whole once again. Right. So number 6.
Here is the ultimate release, which everyone will one day find in his own way, at his own time. You do not need this time. Time has been saved for you because you and your brother are together. This is the special means this course is using to save you time. You are not making use of the course if you insist on using means which have served others well, neglecting what was made for you. Save time for me by only this one preparation, and practice doing nothing else. I need do nothing is a statement of allegiance, a truly undivided loyalty. Believe it for just one instant, and you will accomplish more than is given to a century of contemplation or of struggle against temptation.
Wow. So he's giving us the shortcut here. He's saying just believe this for an instant fully. Experience it. Just going to turn on the light. It's getting a bit dark. Experience it fully, and this can save you a century of contemplation. I need do nothing. If you really get that, you really experience that. In that moment, you're out of time. There's no desire, there's no past, future. You're just complete and whole as you are in that state of needing to do nothing.
So it's I need do nothing because I'm handing it over, handing my mind, my awareness, to pure formless awareness.
So that doesn't mean on the level of form that you're not going to take any more actions. That's virtually impossible unless you go into the mystic life where you sit in meditation all the time. But the I, the sense of an I, a separate self needing to do stuff, disappears. You recognize I'm complete, I'm whole. I actually don't need to do anything. I'm whole, complete, perfect already. And no amount of doing and striving for this state can make me whole, complete, and perfect. In fact, the striving for it denies it. What are you striving for if you're already whole and complete? This is the paradox of enlightenment. So they're saying just accept it for an instant, drop into it, and this is going to save you a whole lot of time. Because in that moment you can get a glimpse of this enlightened state, this wholly released state that is the truth. And one experience like that can completely change your life. Yeah, I speak from personal experience. One experience like that is like, oh wow, I have a whole different perspective from that one experience. So then you come back into the world, and on the level of form, you're still doing stuff, but you're in the state of mind of I need do nothing. So now the beingness of who you are, who you truly are, is directing everything. Not from a place of desire, I need, I want, I crave. Just I am sufficient, I am whole, I'm complete. And from that state of sufficiency, wholeness, and completing, not needing to do anything, I can act in a guided way. I still do stuff, but without the need to do it. And that's really the essence of the flow state. There's no ulterior motive. There's no agenda. I don't have to do this to get an outcome. I need do nothing. I do it because it feels good to do it. I feel guided to do it, but I'm not doing it because I need to get an outcome. That's the essence of what flow means. So this will lead to a flowing kind of action. From your beingness comes the ability to flow in action. But you need to have the realization of this. If you never have the realization, then your doing is always going to be characterized by stressing, straining, and striving. Oh, I need to do this because I need to get a result. And whenever you find that happening, you've gone out of alignment with your beingness, and it's time to return to this simple lesson. I need do nothing. Very powerful 4 words. I need do nothing. Okay? Any thoughts on that? Happy to move on?
Yeah.
Number 7.
Do anything involves the body. And if you recognize you need do nothing, you have withdrawn the body's value from your mind. Here is the quick and open door through which you slip past centuries of effort and escape from time. This is the way in which sin loses all attraction right now. For here is time denied and past and future gone. Who needs do nothing has no need for time. To do nothing, to rest, to do nothing is to rest and make a place within you where the activity of the body ceases to demand attention. Into this place, the remembrance of oneness comes and there abides. It will remain when you forget, and the body's activities return to occupy your conscious mind.
Yeah. Into this make a place. Really what he's talking about is a state of mind. Make a place within you where the activity of the body ceases to demand attention. How about instead of make a place, to enter a state. Something like this, to rest and enter a state. Within you where the activity of the body ceases to demand attention. So you're able to just rest in your beingness without really bothering about the body and its needs and its desires. Into this place, into this state, let's call it, instead of a place, because that's more accurate. Into this state, remembrance of oneness comes. And there abides. And it will remain when you forget, and the body's activities return to occupy your conscious mind. So we might forget, the body draws us back, but this awareness remains there, and so we can more easily go back into it. I'm not denying we will have temptations and we'll forget, but we can return to the remembrance of oneness. It's more strongly reinforced. By having had this experience, this remembrance of oneness is strengthened. And there's a part of our mind that can wholly forget. You've had one instant of being in this timeless state of I need do nothing. You can never wholly forget that again. And so then you've got a reference to come back to and restore your mind back to that state with the help of the remembrance of oneness. Okay, so do you want to any comments, questions on that?
No, I think it's good. I like it.
Okay, so what's he saying there in summary?
It's saying that to do nothing is to enter the now and let go of past and future and all sin and rest in a state of beingness.
Time is denied. So the art of doing nothing. You could call meditation the art of doing nothing. Simply to rest in your beingness. And most people have a lot of trouble doing nothing. They really struggle to just do nothing and be content in doing nothing. It's hard. A lot harder than being busy and doing stuff.
Yes, it's very nice. It's beautiful.
It is.
I'll hand over to Sue for number 8.
Last one, yeah.
Yet there will always be this place of rest to which you can return. And you will be more aware of this quiet center of the storm than all its raging activity. This quiet center in which you do nothing will remain with you, giving you rest in the midst of every busy doing on which you are sent. For from this center will you be directed how to use the body sinlessly. It is this center from which the body is absent that will keep it so in your awareness of it.
Yeah. So what is he saying there?
He's saying this place of quiet where you need do nothing is always there. And you can go to it at any moment.
Directed how to use the body sinlessly. So he acknowledges, yeah, you're going to come back and you're going to be, having to do stuff in the world, every busy doing which you're sent. But you remain in the center. You can have an experience like this. That center is always there. And that center, core of who you really are, will direct you how to use the body sinlessly. This center from which the body is absent, so this is your pure formless awareness, beyond the body. And keep it so in your awareness of it. There's this center from which the body is absent, and will keep it so in your awareness of it. So I wonder if we should make center capital C. What do you think?
Yeah.
And you'll be more aware of this quiet center of the storm. He's referring to pure formless awareness. Center of the storm brings to mind the hurricane, which is the eye of the storm, and in the quiet. That's the reference he's using. In the quiet center, it's all raging around, and yet in the quiet center, everything is still.
Yeah.
Quiet center of the storm. This quiet center. What do you think? Capital C?
Looks a bit odd to me.
Center. Okay, we'll leave it. He's referring to the referring ultimately to truth there, but we'll keep it as it is. Okay, so what's he saying there in summary?
He's saying that, well, I think I said it. We've always got this quiet place within us that we can turn to and find refuge from all the busy doing that we also do.
So once we can connect to it, if you can truly have an instant like this, what he's saying, an instant where you really give up the body, you go fully into the now moment, and you fully believe, experience the reality of I need do nothing. That is enough to create a center, calm center within you that will always be there. No matter what you're doing, it's there, and you can return your mind to it. So you have this refuge no matter what's happening in your life. And so spiritual practice is really about creating that refuge. So you can go there at any point because you know the place well. It helps you remain more centered if you're in the busy doing, to stay in flow, and then you can drop into this total rest and go back into the beingness, which is the place where you state of mind where you need do nothing if you need to. So yeah, good lesson, very very pertinent, and he's talking here about how pure beingness, I need do nothing, can actually help you in your doing. So how the beingness then leads into action, and that's really what flow is about. Connect with the beingness. They called it the Tao in the ancient China, in the Taoist philosophy. The Tao is the primal beingness, and then the Wu Wei is the flow of life, effortless flow, non-resistance, not resisting anything, just allowing things to flow from the fundamental beingness. So he's talking about these ideas here. Fundamental being is I need do nothing, and then the doing that comes is no longer stressing, straining, and striving. It's coming from the beingness. Even if you're doing stuff in the world, you're just not in the consciousness of I need to do stuff. See, that's really the difference. And this being consciousness then permeates everything that you do. Okay, so just one more task. We can do a meditation if you want. Quite happy to guide you through one if you'd like me to, but let's do the personalized executive summary first.
The key message of this section is that,
Want to have a crack at it?
yeah, the key message of this section is that sin, past and future,
Well, let's just go back. Let's have a little look. So it was useful to have a little review of the whole thing. So where did he start? He started off with the idea that you still have too much faith in the body as a source of strength. And then he's asking us to go totally into the body, not utterly forgotten the body. Not asked to let this happen for more than an instant. So that's where it starts, body awareness, and then that is the foundation for the I need do nothing. Is that
sin, past and future are,
well, how about that? Let's personalize that. I can let go of my attachments to my body's comfort and pleasure. Let go of needing to
of needing to live out my body's
provide, needing to provide for my body's comfort and pleasure in an instant that shows me that time, sin, that the past and future, and sin that relies on these, the past and the future, and the sin, the idea of sin, past and the future, past and future, and the idea of sin that relies on these delusions are not real. Past and future, past, the future, and the idea of sin that relies on these delusions are not real. Can let go. Yeah. So any other ideas there? Maybe say something about, so this opens me to the experience that I need do nothing.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
This instant of being fully in the now will open my mind to experience, because it's an experience, the truth that I need do nothing, as I am already whole, complete, and perfect. And then he says, well, when you're going to go back into the doing phase, this quiet center will allow me to do things in the world without losing myself in them, and be a constant refuge in the face of the storms that can blow. Maybe we need to be a little more practical. The difficulties, the challenges that I may face in life. Constant refuge for me in the face of the challenges that I may face. Okay.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, do you want to read that?
The key message of this section is that I can let go of needing to provide for my body's comfort and pleasure in an instant that shows me that the past, the future, and the idea of sin that relies on these delusions are not real. This instant of being fully in the now will open my mind to experience the truth that I need do nothing, as I am already whole, complete, and perfect. This quiet center will allow me to do things in the world without losing myself in them, and will be a constant refuge for me in the face of the challenges that I may face in life. Yeah, very nice, John.
Add anything else?
No, perfect.
Quiet state of beingness. This quiet state of beingness will allow me to do things in the world without losing my constant refuge for me, face the challenges that I may face in life. Maybe this is the essence of this state of mind. Is the key to staying in flow. All my action, all my doing quiet state of beingness. So staying connected to this. So maybe staying connected, because he's talking at the end about to this quiet center within me is my key to staying in flow in all my doing, staying in
Throughout the day,
flow in all my activities, maybe all my activities. All my activities that make up so much of my daily life. Because most of the time we're not being, we're doing stuff, aren't we? Make up so much of my daily life. It's a very profound section, actually, reading this. I need do nothing, but what he's actually doing here is he's relating being to doing, and he's telling us how to stay in flow.
yeah,
So I don't remember getting this message the last time we read it very clearly.
no,
More like I need do nothing, but he's actually allowing us to translate that into action and saying this is the key. You know, connecting with this beingness will allow you to do in a way that is directed and guided, and where you don't lose yourself in the world.
yeah,
So the essence of the flow state is what he's talking about here. But you must go into the beingness fully in order to stay in flow and be able to do in the state. So that's where a lot of people go wrong. They want the flow, but they're not willing to go fully into the beingness that underlies it, the I need do nothing state, full rest. And so he's giving us and saying, well, this is what you need to do. Even one moment of this where you fully let go, you're in this state of beingness where you really get that I need do nothing, that's enough then to be a reference point for all of your future activities, to anchor you into that quiet center of beingness and allow you to flow from that state. And all of your activities then change because they're coming from the quiet center and not you're not lost in the raging storm.
yeah.
So very profound. Talking about flow and the relationship between being and doing here and how that actually works in practice. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the section. Well done. Wasn't too bad. There wasn't too much translation.
No, that's good.
I hope it was worth staying, and I thought it was very profound. I mean, as usual.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed that text.
Okay. This is a lesson that is referred to. I don't think it's that well understood, actually. A lot of course students who don't really understand what he means by I need do nothing.
No.
So hopefully you do now, and that there's a subtlety to it that's not obvious. It's not just about sitting and doing nothing. It's take the state of mind into your doing and stay in flow, really, is what he's saying. Okay, so do you want to do a quick meditation?
Not for me, John. No, I'm going to go to sleep.
Okay. Sue?
Well, a quick 10-minute one.
Yeah, okay. How about we do an I need do nothing meditation? I think that sounds like a good.
Good.
You just surrender, have an experience he's talking about. He's just talking about a holy instant of experience where you need do nothing. So maybe I can take you into that, then that kind of gives you experience of what he's talking about. All right, so just making yourself comfortable. Now put yourself on mute. Sitting your feet shoulder width apart. Back straight. Cup your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Notice how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Clenching the sphincter muscle so you lock the energy in. Just draw the energy up the spine into your heart center. Putting one hand on your heart, connecting with your heart space. And just observe your state of mind, any thoughts, any emotions going on, any related physical sensations. Breathe into those. So as you breathe in, you're breathing in your formless awareness, perfect love, spacious awareness. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just breathe. Another breath in, relax. And exhale, let all of this go, whatever thoughts, emotions, sensations. These are just ripples on the surface of your being. Blow them away with the breeze of your breath. Let them all go. Sink inwards, deeper, beneath the choppy waves. Merge into the deep beingness, which is your true mind, your true self resides here. In the self, in this beingness, there is nothing you need to do. Because you're whole and complete and perfect, as you really are in this state of mind. Nothing needs to be added, nothing taken away. It's just pure perfection, pure formless awareness, perfect love. So for a couple of minutes, just sink into this awareness. Allow yourself to experience what Yeshua is talking about in this section of the text. Allow yourself to experience pure formless awareness, perfect love. Next couple of minutes of deep silence, say to yourself, to help you enter into this state of pure beingness, I need do nothing. I am complete and whole and perfect as I am right now. So I need to do nothing. And then just drop into the experience of this needing to do nothing. Fully give yourself experience of it for the next For minutes of deep silence. Anything comes in to disturb your peace. It's deep, quiet peace, this calm center. And you remind yourself that I need do nothing. So I'm whole and complete and perfect as I am right now. And just surrender into this state of pure beingness, completion, perfection, holiness, right now. So gently coming back. Bring your awareness back into the body, and the breath, and the senses, and the world. And on the count of 3, you need to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in. Noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Observe any thoughts, any emotions, any sensations going on, particularly anything that feels negative, limiting, contracted, constricted in any way, shape or form, and just let it go. Blow it all away with the breeze of your breath to the nothingness that it really is. Notice how the air flows out of your mouth, chest and the stomach sucked back in. Energy raised up to the crown of your head, subsides back down the front channel of your body, coming to rest in your lower stomach and your groin. And the weight of your body pressing down to the chair, your feet touching the ground. Noticing what you feeling and touching, noticing subtle taste in your mouth, perhaps the smell in your nose. Noticing what you're hearing surrounding the environment. Noticing all these things from this very still, calm and surrendered state. State of pure formless awareness, the center, the calm center, the beingness underlies all doing, the state of mind in which you need do nothing. So anchor this state in, stay connected to it for the rest of the evening, set the intention to do that and carry it into tomorrow. All of your doing tomorrow, stay rooted in the beingness, the awareness that you need do nothing. So it is said and so it is done. So on the count of 3, open your eyes. Take a minute just to look around and observe everything from state of pure formless awareness. It underlies all things. It's the ground of being, it's been called. State in which you rest and need do nothing. This state can underlie all of your sense perceptions, guide all of your actions, your words. So just allow that in the next 24 hours. Just stay rooted in the being that's the quiet center, and let that guide all of your doing in the world. In that way you will stay in flow and your actions will be high quality and the outcomes will be miraculous, which is what I wish for you. So stay rooted in beingness and flow in your doing. And that brings us to the end of the meditation and the session. So thank you, Sue.
Okay.
And, namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Joe.
See you tomorrow.
No, you won't see us tomorrow.
Okay, you're not going to be able to join at all.
We're walking tomorrow.
Okay, enjoy. So maybe Friday.
Yeah.
Friday afternoon, 12:30. Okay, enjoy your walk.
Okay, thanks,
Thank
Joe.
you.
Have a nice evening. Namaste.
Stay.